Hey guys, if you like to party and the stock block is what you're trying to go fast on, we have a new brand for you here, Stock Block the World. Go to the link in the video and support us. It should eventually lead to t-shirts, hoodies, and other apparel. What's up guys? Another Tuesday night here to shop. So as you know, we have the one project car, which is John's. We're making progress on that. It's slow, but we're getting there. I believe what's next will be cutting the floor out in the torque boxes. But when it comes to making financial decisions, I make really bad ones. And so if you're looking for an advisor when it comes to making sure you'll never be financially secure, I'm definitely the man to go to. And I don't charge a whole lot. But one of my good buddies found a car in Craigslist for a good deal, and it was pretty cheap, and I gave in to my impulses and went and snagged it up last Saturday. And I'll make sure you see some pictures of the process. But it was sitting on a couple of stacks of tires and ratchet strap between a couple Ford trucks and a tree. So here we go. Here we have what I believe is a 91 Fox body. As you can see, she's mint. I wish that you could smell this thing through the camera, but it smells how you would expect a old Fox body that's been rained in to smell. So it doesn't let you down there. As you can tell, it's a very unique blue color, and it has this white hatch. No tail lights, a little bit of bumper damage. Four-cylinder car originally. And obviously still got a bunch of crap in here. So you're probably asking yourself, what are the plans for these things, or this thing? You know, you got one car ready that costs too much, so what else could you want to do? Because that car, runs pretty good, it's gonna be faster. Well, we've got to the point with that car that we're chasing a number like anybody else, and it's constantly, on our mind. And cars are a bit temperamental about track prep, which we could certainly adjust for, but we're usually just trying to go as fast as we can. The goal with this thing is to not care, not worry about chasing numbers, and just have fun and do no prep stuff. And now you're probably thinking, wow, you've had pretty bad luck not racing on no prep. But when you're stupid, you don't let that kind of stuff stop you. So this is what we got for now. It'll be a documented process as well. It won't be fast, but and the one reason I'm doing this as well is because we have a bunch of hand-me-down parts from the red car. Not as many as we used to, because we gave a lot to one of our buddies. Maybe he'll upgrade and he'll re-hand me down on back to me, but I probably doubt it. But so this is the first video on that, or the first clip. I plan to once again document all this stuff. We're not going to do some super crazy high-end build, but we are going to, of course, do the proper safety stuff. And and I'm sure it's not going to be some 8s for 8 style deal, because I'm sure it'll end up costing way more than that, even with hand-me-down parts. But I can at least pretend for now it's going to be a relatively inexpensive venture compared to what the red cars turned into. guys, so it's been the past hour or so. Looks like 55 minutes. Taking a lot of this crap out of the engine bay. Let me get this camera down so you can see what I actually accomplished. So as you can see, we got the AC compressor off, charcoal canister, a bunch of evap lines, coolant overflow, the battery came with it, that giant heavy battery bracket it had in it, that's obviously not OEM. I think I need to pull the dash out to get some of these harnesses through, so I'll worry about that later. I think what I'm going to do next is drop the K member. As you guys can see, it took about a little over 30 minutes. Would have been a little bit sooner. I got caught up on the steering rack. I just dropped everything together. The steering wheel, I don't have a key to this thing. One of the reasons I got it so cheap. The steering wheel is locked and I couldn't break that. And it could have gave me some access to some of the bolts, but I really didn't care. Probably won't be any of this getting reused. Maybe the front brakes if they're worth the crap. I just gotta see if they're not too, at least the calipers are not too rusted. I'm not even sure on that. That OEM assembly is super heavy. I'd definitely be curious to know what it weighed. I don't know if I have a way to weigh it without breaking my scale and a leg or arm in the process of trying to weigh it. But it definitely opens things up a bit. It'll be a bit before I can get an actual K-member to put in here. But once we do that, K-member, front struts, control arms, we can get it back on the ground. And honestly, I don't even have wheels yet. I actually borrowed those wheels from my buddy. But not bad work. Made some progress tonight. I guess really the next thing to drop will be the fuel tank and the rear end assembly. And we'll get that stuff out. What's up, guys? It's about 6 a.m. or closer to 7 now. January 11, 2020. Working a little bit more on the no prep car this morning. What I plan to do is get the gas tank out, and if time allows today, I'll get the rear end out as well. But I'm mostly just tearing this stuff down now just to get it out of the way. I know it'll be a minute before I get to actually to really get working on this car. So in some downtime, this keeps me from just sitting around bored. I don't know how old that gas is, but it's like slimy feeling. It's pretty crazy. I've spilled a lot of gas in my day, and that stuff smelled terrible from the get-go. But anyways, fuel tank's out. Bit of a mess. It took about 15 minutes, and that's partially because I didn't know what tools I really needed since I've never taken one of these apart before. I think I got gas on my sock, and it's disgusting. So I figured, let's see what we got here. Looks like at some point there's probably a squirrel or a mice or a rat, because it's a fox body. Let's be realistic. It's probably a little rattier. Was accumulating some goods on top of the fuel tank, like this bolt and this stuff, and looks like something out of a lead pen with little ends that were changeable. I remember those things when I was in school, and they were always really cool, but I don't think I ever had one because they cost a bit more than the regular lead pencils. Right here, it looks like volcanic ash, if I had to guess. Here's some dirt with some stuff in it, I don't know. I went a bit more aggressive this morning, and I just cut the lines because, you know, I don't gain anything from preserving it. I was just trying to be less of a caveman. Up here, you can probably see, well, that's what it looks like in the back of the car. The animal was accumulating stuff, or maybe they just threw crap there and it fell through the hole in the floor. But there is a little bit of rust back here. We'll see how deep it is. If it's anything too major, I can just kind of cut it out and clean it back up. You know, we won't use anything back here anyways, but it does bother me. But it's a $400 car, so I can't do a lot about it. These straps, I'll cut these out once all this gas dries up. So I'll start a fire. But now you can see the rear end is pretty accessible. Still has the drive shaft in it too. I had to tie it up to tow it over here, as I wouldn't drag the ground. But what I will try to do is preserve the brake lines at the very least. But I'm also going to give this gas a little bit of time to dry out because it smells terrible. I don't want to roll around and lay in it, and I'll probably melt the wheel on my cheap. Alright guys, so I'm about to take the rear end out. It's maybe been 20 or 30 minutes. Still smells terrible over here. I am possibly intoxicated off of the old fumes. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I'm going to do this now. It's just crazy. I mean, you know, things wear out over time, but it's always wild seeing it. Like, you can see how wore out this bushing is on the bottom of this strut. Whenever you raise the rear end up and down, you can see a ton of movement in these bushings. If I had someone else to hold the camera at the moment, I would record that for you. I have this cool custom exhaust hanger. Alright, let me get this thing out. So as you guys can see, I got the rear end out. I ended up having to cut the brake line over here. I didn't want to do that, but it seemed that all the flared nut fittings were stripping, so I can make a new piece easy, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, so not bad progress for the morning. Tearing something apart is the easy stuff, so just trying to get it out of the way, because when it comes time to do all the hard work putting it back together, that's when you lose motivation. Alright guys, more updates. I just kind of started pulling the interior out. I didn't plan to go this far right away, but I did anyways. I'm actually going to run to the store here now and buy another shop vac, because the one I have is a pile of crap and doesn't do a good job of removing dirt. But it looks like a Fox body. It's been obviously sitting out for a while. Get all this crap, all this big stuff out, and then vacuum up what we can. Get all the seat belt, speaker stuff out. There's a bunch of janky wiring back here, which, there we go, stuff like that. We need to put speakers in. But nothing. Yeah, I don't want speakers anyways. Quick update, guys. Still chipping away at this thing as far as getting the interior out of it. It vacuumed up pretty nicely. I mean, doesn't look bad. Got this rust area right here, but that's nothing terrible. Nothing that can't be fixed if we need to. I forgot to pull that down right there. But yeah, it's coming along. Next I'm pulling the seats out and work up there, and then I'm sure I will start trying to get the dash out. Update, got the seats out, and there's like a whole ant army in here. So I plan to annihilate them with brake cleaner. Alright guys, I'm back. Getting the carpet out, vacuumed up, annihilated a colony of ants, and I can see how things are looking. I see some obvious rust here. Doesn't seem terrible. I mean, not all the way through, not soft in any spots. I'm sure I could try hard enough I can knock a hole in it. It looks like the car's been jacked up before off of the pinch weld, or this one where it's been sitting on tires. But that spot back there is a little high, which some of the stuff may go back into place with a hammer. I mean, I guess I could always replace the floor pans too, just not looking to do that with this car, but we'll see what happens. Looks like they stripped the stud here at some point, so they used some 1/8" aluminum scrap off of something, and there was a long bolt on that side. This right here was stuck pretty good, so maybe I'll try some W40 on the inside, underneath the frame there where the bolt head sticks out, if it's showing, and let it soak for a while. But on to the dash. Just want to show you guys this cool wire tie they got going on. A little duct tape around the column. So I got the dash support out. The dash itself wasn't really even screwed in. I guess it looks like somebody tried to install radio in this thing at some point. But a bird nest, it looks like, here in the HVAC box, which I'm trying to get out now. Another update. I went through and I got all the insulation off the firewall. Obviously the floor itself has a lot that needs to be scraped off. I don't think I'll do it today, but still, I got all that out. I may mess around the way, it may not, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's not as exciting stripping everything out of this car, just because we know how light one can be whenever it's really cut on, like we've been doing on John's. But I didn't plan to get this far today, but he's actually messing with some bodywork stuff on his, so, and bodywork's on my thing, so I've taken time just to make a little progress. Alright, so as I was throwing stuff away, I weighed a couple things. The HVAC box assembly was 22.6 pounds. Stock engine harness for a manual transmission was 4.8 pounds. Stock ECU is 1.4. Insulation behind the dash was 10. And then the stock fuel tank, empty, disposed of what was in it, was 35.6 with the filler neck. I know that's not possible to even read, but I'll type up as well in the video so you can see it. I would say the carpet's probably 20 to 30 pounds, but once again, it was really nasty, so I wasn't going to bear hug that thing and get on the scale with it, see what it weighed. But I made a lot of progress. Really what's next is to scrape the floor and to get the front windshield out, since it's cracked and you can get a Fox body windshield pretty cheap. So we'll get that done. I won't be able to start the cage work and frame connectors until I'm able to get it back on the ground. I don't have a chassis table, and this thing sits crooked on jack stand, so I don't want to do it like it is and have the car all twisted up, because these things, as I've said many times in the other videos, are just made of beer cans. But I'm happy with today's progress. A lot further than it was a week ago, and still need to take these inner fenders out and get the washer overflow out, or washer reservoir out, and some other miscellaneous wiring and stuff. I plan to retain the factory steering wheel, and I want to use the buttons on it for the bump and trans brake button like my buddy has. It's a clean, simple look. I'd like to retain the turn signals and stuff too, just in case we get to some classes that they start getting finicky on certain rules, and we just want the thing to be prepared for that. So we have the red car now to go all-out race car, not worry about trying to bounce back and forth or race cars with mild manner street car. But that's the start of this. Pretty exciting. A new build's always exciting. But once you start having to do things and spend money is when you get burned out. So fortunately that we have a bunch of hand-me-down parts, but still not enough of them, and it's probably still going to cost more than I want to in the end. But that's the first video, and make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.